Have you ever wondered why some people seem to multiply everything they touch, and others struggle with the same difficulties for years? There is an answer in the Bible, and it is not about luck or magic at all. We are talking about clear principles that work today. Hey guys, I'm Emma, and today I'm going to share 10 principles from the book of Proverbs, chapter 21. 5 of them can change your approach to money, help you to multiply resources, and lead to real abundance. The first principle is to avoid thinking in a hurry. We live in a generation that wants everything at once: quick results, instant success, and easy money. But the Bible teaches in the book of Parables, chapter 2, verse 15, that hard plans lead to abundance, and all hasty come to poverty. God acts through processes, not through impulses. A hurry makes you make decisions without direction, invest without hearing His voice, and leave what God has continued to build in you. Faith is not manifested in running, but in the ability to wait with a purpose. Thinking in a hurry is born from anxiety, not from faith. Anxiety is an attempt to control what only God can arrange. When you leave God's rhythm, you quickly get tired and lose what He wanted to multiply. Do not strive to come quickly. Strive to come steadily. What is obtained without a process is lost without meaning. The second principle is planning for the wise. Many want prosperity, but few are ready to spend time on the plan. You cannot ask God for abundance if you are not ready to manage it. In the Bible, Jesus says that a person who wants to build a tower first sits down and counts the costs. This is not disbelief, but wisdom. Planning is spiritual because it shows that you believe that God will bless you and you are preparing to manage it correctly. Leaving everything to chance or God's will is not faith, but carelessness disguised as spirituality. True faith manifests itself in action, and reasonable action begins with a plan. God does not bless what you do not want to arrange yourself. If you want to see abundance, start with order in thoughts, finances, and decisions. Blessing follows a plan, not chaos. If you have watched to this point and the video is useful to you, subscribe to the channel Biblical Finances and write in the comments what new you understood. The third principle, hard work gives rise to abundance. Abundance does not come from a lot of prayers and little work. It comes when you do both constantly. The book of Parables says that a hard-working soul will be saturated and enriched. God does not bless spiritual laziness and internal disorder. He blesses hands that do not go down, hearts that do not give up, and mind that acts with a purpose. Hard work opens the door to which luck never touches. To be hardworking means to do the right thing, even when no one applauds. This is to get up, make an effort, and remain focused on what God has entrusted you. Abundance is a natural result of discipline. Do not look for short ways because they shorten the process and reduce the blessing. Remember, God's hand acts in favor of those who move with faith, permanence, and purpose. The fourth principle, order attracts blessing. God is the God of order, not of chaos. In creation, He did not create everything at once, but acted step by step, day by day. And when everything was completed, He saw that it was good. In the same way, by putting order in finances, goals, and priorities, you say to God, "I can be trusted." Order is not just a human habit. This is a divine principle that opens the door to blessing. Financial disorder is not just carelessness, but a sign that in some spheres you have not yet allowed God to reign. You can't ask for abundance without understanding what to do with the little that already exists. Start by putting everything in place: expenses, debts, priorities, and habits. Where there is order, there God multiplies. Where there is chaos, He does not invest there. The fifth principle, discipline is more valuable than inspiration. Inspiration ignites, but discipline changes. Many start with fire, but few remain when emotions fade. The Bible says that the soul of the diligent will be rich, and diligence depends not on mood, but on dedication. Discipline is to do the right thing even when you don't want to, because you know God values permanence more than fleeting emotions. Emotions encourage to start, but it is discipline that brings to an end. Therefore, so many projects, services, and businesses remain unfinished. Financial and spiritual stability is built on habits, not impulses. Every day you choose to be constant, even when no one sees it. This is how you lay the foundation on which God pours out the eternal abundance. Permanence forms character and trust. What is invisible to people is always visible to God. The sixth principle: economic wisdom is spiritual. Many believe that talking about money is something fleeting, but the Bible talks about managing resources more than about heaven or hell. In the book of parables, it is said that in the house of the wise there is treasure and prosperity, and the fool squanders everything he has. This means that God approves reasonable management. Savings, investments, and budgeting do not keep you away from faith, but make you a better manager. The wise do not spend everything at once, because they understand that every resource is a seed that can be multiplied. God does not multiply disorder, He multiplies wisdom. When you properly manage what you have, you serve God in the same way as a prayer. Spiritual and material prosperity go together when you realize that good management is part of worship. It is not about accumulation for the sake of accumulation, but about the meaningful use of what God entrusted to your hands. By applying reason and biblical principles to finance, you speak like heaven. I can be trusted more. The seventh principle: character is checked in small. Many ask for more, but are not faithful in what they already have. In the Bible, Jesus says that he who is faithful in little is faithful in much. God checks the heart not with abundance, but with little things. If you do not know how to manage little properly, how can God entrust you with more? The way you manage resources today shows whether you are ready for what you pray for tomorrow. Character is not formed in abundance, it appears in deficiency. It is there that you decide whether you will be obedient, grateful, and trust God. Every small income, every opportunity, and every financial decision is a test of loyalty. Pass this test, because the increase comes when God sees that little does not spoil you, but raises you. Loyalty always precedes growth. The eighth principle: haste reveals anxiety, not faith. Haste is more often caused by fear, not by trust in God. We want to solve everything at once, earn more at once, and get out of trouble immediately. But God does not act in anxiety, but in His purpose. The prophet Isaiah says that a believer is not in a hurry. This means that a believer in God knows how to wait in peace, not in despair. Faith is not manifested in fuss, but in peace and confidence that the Father controls everything. Impulsive decisions bring losses that could have been avoided by a calm prayer. When you act out of anxiety, you begin to rely more on calculations than on God's providence. But choosing calmness, you declare, God, I trust your time more than mine. Such trust opens doors that haste always closes. Patience is not passivity, but faith in action. The ninth principle: all abundance requires structure. God does not bless disorder. Many people ask for abundance, but they do not have the structure to hold it. The Bible teaches that everything should happen in a dignified and orderly manner, and finance is not an exception. If you do not know where the money goes, they will always disappear. Blessing needs a direction, and this direction is called a goal. It is not important how much comes, but what you do with what comes. Abundance is measured not by quantity, but by management. A generous heart with control, vision, and purpose is able to multiply even a small thing. But without structure, even great blessings are wasted. God does not want you to suffer from a lack of order. He wants to trust you more, but only when He sees wisdom and organization in what you already have. The 10th principle: the biblical financial success has a purpose, not an ego. True success is not in the demonstration of cars, houses, or figures on a bill. The Bible teaches to give by the decision of the heart, and not by force or regret. This also applies to how we use God's gifts. Effortful people plan and work not for their own glory, but to be a channel of blessing. When resources have a purpose, they become tools of service, not chains of pride. Abundance without meaning is dangerous. It can tempt, distract, and deprive of peace. But when money reflects your faith and devotion to God, it becomes evidence for others. Every financial decision, every investment or saving can be an act of worship with the right motivation. Biblical success is not numbers, but influence, service, and faithfulness to God's plan. The Bible gives not just rules, but principles that work even today, multiplying what God trusts to man. By applying these 10 principles, you will see growth not only in finances, but also in the world, order, and the meaning of every decision. Remember, God blesses permanence, discipline, and wisdom. Ready.